All right, we're joined here with Brinley Mann. Brinley. Brinley recently competed in the local science fair, and her project received a superior rating. Mm-hmm. And you're on to districts, which are coming up. Where's that at?
It's at Kent, I believe.
Kent University, Kent State University. Good. So we're just going to ask Brinley a couple questions, get an idea of what she did, why she did it, the science fair experience, and then kind of Brinley's future and what she likes about science, those kinds of things. So we'll get right into the questions. First of all, Brinley, congratulations. I know it's not easy to do a science fair project and school and show choir and band, and you just seem like you got your hand in a little bit of everything. So can you tell us a little bit about your project?
So basically it was about whether different locations of whether it's in town, in the country, in between the country and town, so the suburbs area, if the different locations would affect how many birds would visit feeders. And within that, we were also looking at whether more invasive or non-invasive species visit the feeders more. So.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Can you explain your project in a way that somebody who's not a science expert? So you had an overall question, right?
Yeah.
Give me your project question. How about that? Let's start with that.
Okay, so my project question was, I'm going to summarize it here, so it's very long, that the different locations affect the different amounts of bird visits to each feeder at each location, and that within that, like I said, the non-native and native species would visit more often in the town than they would in the country.
Okay.
Because of, yeah.
So why'd you pick birds? Why'd you pick this topic?
I like animals.
You like animals? Okay.
Like animals.
So, but why birds?
Because birds are more if you're working with let's say I want to do something with dogs or cats. If you're working with them, it's harder because you have to get vets to look at them. You have to get all this paperwork filled out. Where if you're just looking at wild birds and just taking pictures of them and doing stuff like that, it's a lot easier. But it's also the same thing, so I could do something with animals at the same time, but it's easier and I won't have to go through all the paperwork and stuff that I have to.
Okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Birds are a little more common.
Yeah.
They're a little more abundant. They're easier to kind of watch, I guess. What were some of the things, so when you collected your data, what were you tracking? So every day, let's go through the process, because we've talked about it before, but what was kind of your process in every day I'm tracking what?
It was kind of every day I'd we'd pull the pictures off of the trail cameras, and it was basically me sitting at a computer and going through each and every picture.
Okay, so that was your setup, was you had a camera at a rural feeder, a camera at a urban feeder.
Yeah, and there was 3 feeders at each location.
Okay.
So I'd have to count every single feeder at each location.
That's a lot of work.
It's because I think the urban one, I think the most pictures I had in the urban was I think I had 7,000 and something pictures at one station in the urban.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot. So that brings me to, what do you think was the biggest challenge? Was it the time that it took to count everything, or did you have some hiccups with the technology, or did the birds show up?
Everything probably went pretty okay. It was probably mainly just the sitting and counting everything. It took forever.
I think I watched you the one day. You were you had 200 photos that you had to check off each one.
Yeah.
That time, right?
Yeah.
And I would say in your past, has time been one of the biggest things with the science fair project? Is the amount of time?
Yeah.
So to gain data, you have to spend a lot of time.
It's the less time, the more you run out of time, the less data you have, because you can only collect data for as long as you have time for.
Right, and less data, it's not as reliable. The more data, the more reliable.
Yeah.
Just easy, yeah. Okay, so what are your next steps before you go on to the district science fair?
So
you have to do anything or fine tune anything?
I'm kind of first I'm going to try to get some more data and count more birds.
Okay.
And just so I have a wider range of data.
Yeah.
And doing that, I'll have to make new graphs, and I might make a few graphs that I didn't have before, just so it's easier to see the differences in populations and stuff.
Yeah. Do you have to make a board presentation for this one?
No, it's all online.
All online. Okay. So it's a digital presentation. That's nice.
Yes.
Because then you don't have to do the arts and craftsy side of it. Still artsy craftsy, but a digital artsy craftsy, right? So what's your favorite part about the science fair? So why do you keep coming back to it? I know the animals, I got that.
Yeah.
Is it the science side of it?
I just think it is the science side of it, because I just like science in general, and it's like I like the idea of like working on a project and being able to mainly win awards and stuff for it, but like also I'm discovering new stuff as I'm just working on this fun science fair project, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, no, same boat, right? Yeah, like you love, as weird as it sounds, like you love seeing the data and being like forming like hypothesis and like, oh, I didn't realize that was like that, and watching the trends. I get that, the science side of it. Any other projects that you saw that you were like, ooh, that was a good idea? So like as you were there.
I think Andrew was the other one that made Superior and is going to district. He did this one with the velocity of like the escape velocity of a balloon or something like that. And like I didn't get everything because I was beside him and I was doing my presentation, but I heard some of what he was saying. It did sound really interesting, and I kind of was like, ooh, that's actually a good idea.
His was more physics based than biology based. Okay, that's cool. So if we use this in future years, do you have any advice for anybody looking to do the science fair?
First off, if you're going to do science fair, you need to start very early as soon as you get it so that you have enough time.
Yeah.
You need to, if you're going to do science fair, you need to figure out a project to do before they actually sign you up for science fair, so then you're not spending extra time trying to figure out a project and stuff. You've got to make sure that you want to like triple check everything before you present and everything, just so you make sure you have everything you need. You need to always one thing I always do is I always write my project down, like what I present on note cards, because if I do that, then if I forget something or something like that, I can easily just look down and read it off. And like, it's better to have it memorized so you show you have some understanding of what you're saying, but they're not going to be mad at you if you forget one thing and you have to look at the note card for it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so good. So what you're saying is it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared. Like you can't just do a project and say, yeah, I did this. You have to be able to support it, right? So the scientific method, like understanding those steps are probably pretty important. Planning and making adjustments and testing them, and
And I mean, people should really do it, because like this year we had all these people sign up for the Google Classroom. There's all these people doing stuff, and there's only 3 people that actually stuck to it.
Yeah. So what do you win if you win? Like as you go on, what do you keep winning? Just awards or something else?
So the one I just got Superior at, that one you just get Superior and that lets you move on.
Okay.
The one at District, there were different awards you can win. Like on my project that I did in 6th grade, I got I think it was like a $250 thing that they put into a college savings account for me. So you earn college stuff for college. They give out like free, like I won just a plain $50 gift card that I could use for anything I wanted. So that was nice. But there's like, and you just sometimes win awards, and and it's like they'll give you awards for like the best, like they have the best understanding of the project, like just stuff like that, and it's really fun.
Oh, cool. All right, well, we're running out of time here. Do you think you're going to pursue a career or college in the field of science?
So, yeah, I think I am because, like, I've always there's like 3 different fields that I kind of am interested in, and that's biology, zoology, and paleontology.
So those are all science.
Yes. So it's mainly, I don't know which one yet, but I do want to do something in the science.
Well, that's good. I think if you go into college and you get into the field of biology, you could probably fit into all 3 of those.
Yeah.
So biology, there's like, as soon as you graduate, there's different like specifications or fields of biology that then you could go get your master's or a certificate. So, well, that's good. Yeah. Well, thanks, Brinley, for talking to me about this, and I hope you do pretty well at districts.
Yeah.